Hey guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. This is just going to be a fun, silly little video that I thought would be somewhat interesting for my channel. Recently, I have bought a book that I cannot read. It's not because it's got difficult long words in it. It's not a fantasy book with long complicated names of characters and places. It's not even a classic literature book that's written in kind of old language or English. No, this is a book that I already have in my collection that is written in a completely different language, and I don't read or speak this language. So you may be thinking to yourself, well, David, if you've already got the book, then why get it in a language that you cannot read? Well, that's a very good question. The book that I am referring to is Chainsaw Terror by Nick Blake. Now, Nick Blake is a pseudonym of Sean Hudson, who I need to read more of. Now, this book is one of my most precious books in my collection. Yes, I have read it. Yes, it was ridiculously expensive, about 50 or 60 pounds when I bought it. Can't remember exactly how much it was, but roughly in that roughly in that area. And it's a really interesting and bloody gory book that was banned and it's discontinued. So you cannot buy this in shops or on Kindle or any conventional ways. The only way to get this is to find it on eBay or Amazon. And so this has been uh, my kind of holy grail. But when I was on eBay and I was searching for Chainsaw Terror, on it by Nick Blake, I don't know. I like to keep my eye open for copies when it does come up because it's really rare and it very rarely ever comes up. But I came across something very interesting when I was searching that on eBay. And I came across a French version. Now, this cover is a bit more extreme than the UK cover, which, going back to it, it's just a man standing with a bloody chainsaw, and it's kind of a perspective thing. He's thrusting it at the cover or at his victim, and there's mist everywhere, and it's just like some standard guy with a chainsaw, and on the back it's just blank. But the French version is a bit more extreme than that. So I had to get a piece of paper and just cover the offensive part of it so I don't get into trouble. But this is the cover. So it's called Gore. It's not called Chainsaw Terror, it's called Gore. So they probably changed the title over in Paris or France. And I suppose that chainsaw was a kind of a thing that they didn't really like having in the title of the book. I mean that's probably the reason. I can't see the reason why terror was so offensive. But if you know the reason why the French copy is called Gore and they changed the title, then please let me know. But let's just have a look. It has the title in red with blood dripping down. It's supposed to be like blood writing on it. And that is the main character standing over a bed with blood on it. And he's holding a chainsaw with also blood on it. And in this part, which I had to cover up, there is a decapitated, severed head and of a lady on the bed, and it is kind of gory, and it's drawn in kind of I wouldn't say a child's drawing, but kind of a like a charming basic picture. I don't know who designed it or who drew this, it probably says in the book, but it's probably going to be written down in French. And I mean, come on, guys, I can barely read English, so French is completely out of the window. And on the back, again, I will have to cover it up with my hands because it's very graphic, as it's a picture of our main character holding a like a chopped up torso over his shoulder, and you know, and the corpse is missing a head, I think, and at least one foot, so it's all chopped up. But I'll cover it up. So that's the back of the book, and there's this sticker which I was tempted to try to remove, but I don't think I will because I don't want to damage the book. And just on the inside, really, just French, you know. I can't read French, so this is completely unreadable to me, as I cannot, as I said, I cannot read or speak French, so I have no idea. But with that said, I bought this book knowing full well that it is a French book. Now here comes the part where you'll probably be thinking to yourself or saying to the screen, David, why did you buy this? And this is purely as a collector's item. I have it proudly next to my copy of Chainsaw Terror, and the seller that was who was offering this and had it up on the eBay site had several copies of this book in various forms of conditions. I think that in total there was about 6 or 7, and due to the conditions of the book, or them copies of them books, the seller had them at different prices. But this one was the most highest, the most highly priced. But he came back to me and he offered me a really good deal that I couldn't turn down. I actually zoomed in on the pictures that he had of this book, or the seller had of this book, and I was looking at it closely and I couldn't find a thing about it that was wrong. The spine, first off, is not cracked. There is no wearing on the spine. There is a little bit there, but not much. And on the other side, there isn't anything. Obviously, because this book is old, I'm really surprised. This was well looked after, and the corners are all like pristine, and there isn't much. Apart from some slight scuff marks along the edges of the book, which is fair enough. It's all basic wear and tear. The only thing that I can find wrong with it, one, there's a slight bent corner at the back of the book, and I don't know if you can quite see that, but there is a slight bend in the book as well, which I'm going to put down to the post, or the postal service for that one. But that is my little video on why I bought a book that I cannot read. And maybe I will one day learn how to speak French and read French, so I can read this. But I've also got the English version, so they're both going to probably be exactly the same as I don't know if the French have altered things from the original to this copy. I suppose that they must have done, because the title was different, so they must have changed something. And if I ever see any other versions of the Chainsaw Terror, then I will definitely pick it up, whether it's a hardback version of the English version. I don't know if it was ever released in hardback, or if I can find a signed copy of this version, then I will be so happy. But when it comes to if I can find any more different languages for the Chainsaw Terror, then I will definitely pick them up, whether they are in German, Spanish. Don't really care about what language they are. I don't know what countries or what other different countries published this book in their native tongue. But if I ever come across any other versions of this book, then I will definitely pick them up and hopefully buy them so I can have some sort of collection on this book, because this book right here, for me personally, in my journey as a book lover and a book buyer, this is the most difficult book that, for me personally, that I could find. I mean, obviously, there has been some instances where it has popped up from time to time. I think the last time it ever popped up on eBay, the condition was okay, but it had loads of kids' drawings in it, and it had, I think the owner that had it wrote his age, which was 13, which completely inappropriate for a teenager to read this book. I mean, this is for mature readers only, guys. I can't stress that enough. So God knows how a teenager was reading this. And also, there was loads of drawings in that copy of the book. So again, I do not know how they managed to sell it. They must have sold it, or the seller must have come to the realization that it's unsellable and took it off themselves. I do not know. But my copy does have the some writing in it, which is fine. Which is fine. It's always good to have writing, in the books. It tells you the journey of it. But let me know if you have any copies of a book that you really enjoyed and that you have in different languages. Maybe there's a book that you found enjoyable and you have wanted to maybe have a little kind of collection of that specific book in different languages for whatever reason. But I just thought it was cool to have in a French version, and come on, I couldn't pass that cover, especially with the little severed head there. But yeah, let me know. Let me know if you've ever considered getting a book that you personally enjoyed and found extremely enjoyable to read in a different language. So guys, that has been my little video. Hopefully you found some entertainment and enjoyment out of this. And just my little silly little video thing I wanted to do. So with all that out the way, I'll see you on my next one.